Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews. It's Knowledge, and today I'm reviewing Dr. Destruction's Planetory Destruction, and I am sipping on a Spaten Automator from Munich, Germany. That's a 7.6% double Bock. And what better way to enjoy an album about a villain with a smooth flow than a beer from Germany that goes down smooth? Dr. Destruction, Planetory Destruction. Who is this Doc D that just came out of nowhere and got all this hype and all this clout? Who could this possibly be? Is there any really doubt that this is Logic? Does anyone not think that this is Logic at this point? This is the worst kept secret of all time. And was anyone actually fooled by his retirement either? We didn't think that he was really going anywhere at all, but I did think that he would be gone a little bit longer than he actually was. I think he gave us about 6 months between projects. Most people have more time in between their regular albums without announcing retirement, and at least Jay-Z waited 3 years between the Black Album and Kingdom Come. But maybe it was really just about retiring the name and the subject matter of the rapper Logic, and I would be completely fine with that, because really I liked Logic when he first came out. Under Pressure was dope as hell, and The Incredible True Story was pretty good as well. But really everything after that was a little bit superfluous, and he was a little bit whiny and just talked too much and was a little too self-centered. Too many whiny monologues about being so hated when he was one of the most popular rappers in the world, no less. So if nothing else, this concept album is a nice change in tone for Logic. Intro, from the very beginning, he has the same sample from Keith Mansfield's Funky Fanfare that if you go to the drive-in movies, you'll also see this song playing about the concessions. But this is the same sample that Danger Mouse used on Danger Doom on the stellar song Old School. So it lets us know from the beginning that this is either an homage to Doom or this is completely biting his style. And you kind of go back and forth between which one it is as you go forward listening to the project. Planetory Destruction, and this shows that it's not only an homage to Doom, but homage to a lot of other hip-hop artists as well. And this samples Genius of Love. It was sampled by several of the greats: Tupac, Redman, Busta Rhymes, just to name a few. And I like the effects that Logic put on his voice here. Now you can definitely tell it's him from the rhymes, but the way that he put the effects on his voice, it does sound natural. It doesn't sound like something completely unnatural or auto-tuned or deep-pitched or anything like that. And there's more homages on this, as he quotes one of the best verses of all time, and that's Capadonna from Winter Wars. He even quotes the phone number, and this is the only phone number that I still have memorized. I don't remember any phone numbers from my childhood, but I know this one, 917-160-49311. That's the Capadonna shit right there. And the skit in the middle of this tells us that this is a concept album and it's set in the year 2097. Could that be the time, or maybe just a little bit before Deltron 3030 was born? Better text back. This is a really cool drum and bass intro leading into some jazzy production, and you can tell from this that Logic, who produced most of the tracks on this project, is highly influenced by Madlib. So the rhymes and persona are like Doom. The production is like Madlib. It's almost like he had that Madvilliany record on repeat since he retired in June. Green Juices, he samples Men in Black, and this is after already sampling Pulp Fiction on the previous track, and we already know that he's Bobby Tarantino, so he has that influence, but this project is like he's trying to throw all of his artistic influences into one album. And I'm really starting to respect it because I know this is not something that he could do as Logic. So I understand why he retired and changed his name, because he wanted to put forth this more creative effort into the world. And for MF Doom homages, we definitely have his rhyme scheme here, but he's also throwing out all of his other influences, just proving my point as he mentions everything from A Tribe Called Quest to Back to the Future and everything else in between. Cosmos 105.7, this is a skit and it gives us a little bit about what Dr. D is all about. And it's okay, but it goes on a little bit too long with a fake commercial and it overdoes it a little bit. Skits are cool on a concept project, but not when they overdo it. And that's one of my chief complaints about Logic, is that he overdoes things that otherwise would be successful. Double sample, this does just what its title suggests as it mixes in two samples. First, Gil Scott-Heron, and then the Supreme Jubilees, and definitely more Madlib motifs here. So as much as this is an homage to MF Doom as a rapper that Logic has created this persona Doc D, I think it's an homage to Madlib as well in the production that he's putting forward on this album. Backstory, a pretty dope verse here, giving this villain a backstory, and mostly he's destroying these planets because of his breakup with his ex named Sharon. We'll hear a lot about her on the rest of this album, but Doc D says, "Destruction here to do this rap shit differently, jump in the abyss of infinity. If I'm the one, you my trinity. Poetically, let them know they in my vicinity. Peep the energy. Let me be who I want to be. Let's not even discuss." This may be Logic really telling us that he had to destroy who he was and the box that he was put in to really give us and to really do what he wanted to do. And he actually samples an MF Doom beat on this, leaving no doubt to where he's paying his respects. Back to the basement, or back to his roots where he started, where we got that original picture on Under Pressure. And he gives us some real boom bap beat here, sampling Tribe, and he brings his whole crew in to spit straight fire on this. I always liked Big Limbo, and he has the best flow on this as well. He says, "Yo, au contraire, mon frere, don't you even go there. Me without a freak is like a Sikh without his hair." Castro also has a pretty nice flow to close this song out. Outer Space Gang, Doc D spits a couple sick metaphors and also again lets us know who he's paying respects to. He says, "I'm living large, I stay with dough like Marge. I'm MF Doom meets El DeBarge, making beats in my mom's garage. 3 samples on one beat, it's a creative menage." And both features from Like and J Mars come through with impeccable flows over the boom bap beat. J Mars also references Doom, letting us again know what this whole project is really about. And when people said MF Doom was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, I knew they were talking about Mos Def and Lupe Fiasco and maybe even Tyler the Creator. I didn't really think of Logic in that conversation until I heard this, but he was secretly bumping that Madvilliany. Butt ass naked, there's more of the radio skit to lead into this and lots more radio skits as we go on the album, and I don't know why he chose to do this. It's really a played out style. I've been hearing radio skits since the late 80s. And who listens to the radio anymore anyway? Especially in the year 2097. Who's going to be listening to the radio? On the meat of this track though, there's a little R&B mockery from another Logic persona named Black Chocolate. And this is a bit like Percy Miracles from Little Brother. And there is a hilarious sci-fi punchline on this where he says, went to the planet Reptilian and caught a case of Gatorades. Ready Player Gun, a whole vibe on this one. Very tribe influenced, and Buddy, the guest star, has one of the best verses that I've actually ever heard from him on this. 20 Million Woolongs. After the skit about the bounty hunters going after Doc D, we get a verse from Punch from TDE. Respect to Logic for getting this label head on his project, and he may have let him do it because here he's fucking with Doc D's ex, Sharon, the one that he's destroying planets over. But I really like how Logic is having these different rappers play different characters. In that way, it really reminds me of Deltron 3030 or even the slept on classic Prince Paul's A Prince Among Thieves. Bounty Law. All you gotta do is look at the features on this song to know that it's the best track on the album. This features Ghostface Killah and Del the Funky Homosapien, both cultivators of concept albums in their own right. And just hearing the features from these familiar voices, I can tell that actually every rapper that's been featured on this project has a little bit of effect or distortion on their voices because Del and Ghost don't really sound exactly like themselves as they spit their bars. Also, having them on here is a real cosign for Logic that just supports what he's trying to achieve. Ghost, of course, was a frequent collaborator and friend of MF Doom. So if he's supporting this, then it does show it's more of an homage than biting the late MC. And then Del coming in, having hands down the best sci-fi concept hip-hop album in hip-hop history, to come in and lend his weight and his name to this other sci-fi concept album is just extraordinary that Logic was able to get them to co-sign on it. Death of Destruction sees the title character meeting his doom, no pun intended, as they say. And the planet is saved from this new villain, or so it seems, because the last words are that he escaped, letting us know that there will probably be a sequel. Even though Logic retired, Doc D has more to come. Man, I got mixed feelings about this project. The timing is really strange, given that we just found out about Doom's death on New Year's Eve. And here we are just 20 or so days later, and we're getting this project that is, it seems like a tribute to him, but maybe he should have stated that on the cover that it was a tribute to Doom, because otherwise it could be interpreted as him just trying to capitalize on the late great's death. This is a little bit more than just a Doom tribute project. I really feel like this is a passion project for Logic. He's getting weird and paying respects to some of the underground and different, unique, and classic projects that we've heard from the past. He's got a lot more boom bap, maybe stuff that he grew up listening to that he hasn't always included in his own music. These skits, though, are a little bit too much, and I really wish he would have just let the songs speak for themselves. And if there's something that he needed to highlight a little more or flesh out in the concept, that he would have put that into the rhymes. I really feel like if you cut the skits, this is an extremely enjoyable project through and through. The skits do take it down a notch. I'm still giving this a 7 out of a 12 pack. And I'm going to try to put a playlist together without the skits and just feel the vibe that he's going for and the respect that he's paying to these great artists before him. Thank you for watching my review of Dr. Destruction's Planetory Destruction. If you like this, go ahead and hit like now and hit me up in the comments. If you didn't like it, also let me know why in the comments. You can subscribe to my channel, the link's popping up right now. I drop hip-hop and hops-related content consistently. So until I see you next time, keep buzzing.